Ahoy mates! Welcome on board the brand new Disney Destiny. We are here for the 4-night maiden voyage inaugural sailing. Lots of fun to be had here, so be sure to check out our full Disney Destiny playlist where you can find our room tour, all of our daily videos, and this video here you're about to watch, our full and complete ship tour. We're going to take you around, show you all the public areas that this ship has to offer. We're going to go deck by deck, starting down at the bottom with deck number 1 and work our way up. So let's go ahead and get it started. Our tour of the Disney Destiny begins right now. All right, we begin all the way down at the bottom with deck number 1. Not too much to see down here. These are the tender lobbies for when you're getting on and off the ports, but we also have the health center here off the forward elevators. So we come all the way forward, we turn left, go towards the port side, and you'll see the sign there that says health center. So you turn left again, and that is where you will find the entrance right through the door here, and they'll usually have some information posted on the outside, like on this digital display board with the times. And that is all that there is to see here on deck 1, so we'll continue to deck 2. All right, deck number 2 now, and we are at the forward elevator lobbies. What we're gonna do is turn here again towards the left to the port side, and we will see the carpet shift here, and we'll start seeing some remnants of candy. You'll see why in just a minute, because we're gonna head towards the Oceaneer Club. But first, I want to turn back to the right. We're now heading all the way forward. Just wanted to show that this is the accessible entrance for the Walt Disney Theater here on deck 2. The main entrances are on deck 3 and deck 4, but if you need the accessible entrance, you will just follow this hallway around, and it's ramped, so there's not stairs, and you'll be able to access the theater via this method. Now back at the forward elevators, we will turn and instead head towards the aft portion of the ship. And this is where we'll pick up that aforementioned candy in the carpet. We're gonna keep following this all the way back until we come out here right by the Grand Hall Atrium lobby area. And this is where we will find the entrance to Oceaneer Club, which of course is the kids club on board. And the entrance here on the Disney Destiny themed after Wreck-It Ralph, hence why we saw so much candy. So we see Ralph over there. We have Vanellope over here tucked behind the licorice supported peppermint candy cane slide. So the kids will have the choice. You could take the slide from up in the Grand Hall down here to the entrance to Oceaneer's Club, or just take the stairwell there on the side. So now that we have the entrance covered, let's go ahead and head inside. We'll take a look. They had an open house on day 1, so we'll go see what's going on in there. Oh, and we've got some special guests right now. So you can see what this area is used for. Got different kind of activities going on right now. The Wiggle Giggle Dance Party right here in the middle with the big screen. I'm gonna head over to the left first, and just like we saw in The Wish and the Treasure, you got all the artistic work here, all the drawings and animation on the wall. And then we have the Pixar themed bathrooms. Across from that, we find our first themed room, which is the Star Wars cargo bay. And it looks pretty much like a carbon copy that we've seen on the sister ships. Lots of buttons and interactive features. They've got tablets throughout. You can play different games. You can tap your band there, play the games on the screens, interact with the different furry friends and creatures of the unknown, all throughout the Star Wars cargo bay area. And then at the end of the hall, very appropriate for this ship, we find the entrance to the Marvel Superhero Academy. Of course, it's going to be themed after Avengers and all of our favorite Marvel superheroes. See them up there in the cool mural. And there's these different interactive things where you can come and see the different suits that they wear. And I believe you can even kind of see it on yourself via this little interactive feature here. Tap the band and it'll put it up on the display there. And then they have the tap band interactive games on the big screens over on the wall as well. Star-Lord, man. Now we'll pass back through the main area here over onto the right side. And up first on our left, we'll find the entrance to the Walt Disney Imagineering Lab. Again, we've seen this on the sister ships themed after imagination and engineering. Of course, Imagineering being that key phrase there. How Disney attractions, parks, ships, resort hotels are created, the thought process and creative efforts that go behind them is the theme throughout this entire area. And they do have the tables here for all the different little activities, games, things like that. And then in this section, you can actually pretend that you are riding a Walt Disney World attraction. Like this one right now is supposed to be like the Matterhorn. You get in the ride vehicle and you see it up on the display there. And then they're gonna just have little statues and displays, fun artwork of different things throughout, including, of course, our ship model. And they even have some attraction posters from different rides throughout various Walt Disney World theme parks worldwide, not just here in the United States, but throughout the different parks you can find. Directly across from the Imagineering Lab, we will find the entrance to the Fairy Tale Hall section, which is pretty straightforward. And again, kind of a carbon copy that we saw on Wish and Treasure, starting with Belle's Library over here, the TV playing movies and the little fireplace. We do have the illuminated ceiling in here with all the symbols representing the different princesses in this area. Over here we have our Arendelle kind of hangout area featuring Anna and Elsa, of course, and then some more tap band interactive games available to play on the big screens. And then we'll end with Rapunzel in the Tangled theme area. You can do some artwork and some different activities in here, enjoy her paintings, watch the lanterns on the big screen, and as always, look for that little tricky Pascal. And then our final area is going to be Mickey and Minnie Captain's Deck. This is just going to be kind of like an indoor playground. Got the big hard play sets in here, little slide, little bridge, spinner games. You can pretend to drive the ship over on that side. Just lots of fun to be had. And right now this is connecting to the It's a Small World nursery, so we'll just kind of go ahead and head in here just to get the easy view. So you can see it's course themed after It's a Small World, and it's just a fun little play area. There's Pascal again, lit up over there, and we got the train that will actually come across up top just like that, going right past Remy right now. And then for sleepy time, they do have the crib area over here with all the night themed artwork and a very cool Pixar themed mobile. And back out here in the hall, just down from the main entrance to the Oceaneer Club, you can follow the artwork, and then you'll see it starts with the Small World theme artwork. That's where you'll find the actual entrance to the Small World Nursery here at the end. And aside from the accessible entrance to the theater and the Oceaneer Club / Small World Nursery, there's nothing here on deck 2 but staterooms, including our stateroom 2129, which has a Hercules theme. Great location if you want simple access to Oceaneers Club and you're only one stairwell up to the Grand Hall atrium area. So check out our room tour video. You'll find it in our Disney Destiny playlist where you can see what 2129 is all about. But for now, we'll get back to our ship tour. We're done with deck 2. Let's go to deck 3. All right, we arrive at deck 3 here at the aft elevators, the aft elevator lobby. So worth pointing out, if you've sailed on other Disney ships before the Wish and the Treasure, before the Triton class, you're probably accustomed to 3 elevator bays. Here on this class, only 2, forward and aft. So if you hear me reference those, that's what I'm talking about. Now the aft of deck 3, really nothing to see here. So we're gonna just kind of scoot forward around the entrance to the restaurants here, and then we'll pick up everything else. So we are shooting the gap here between the 2 sides of our first main dining restaurant, but why don't we go ahead and just get a look at the Grand Hall atrium area here. Always so magnificent to see, and that's especially true at night when they have all the lighting effects turned on. Now here on the Destiny, our atrium statue is T'Challa, the Black Panther, also with a Black Panther here on the rock. Very cool, very stoic looking. Of course, the theme of the Destiny is heroes versus villains. That's why we have that here. So you can see the kind of Wakandan influence throughout the decor here. And like I said, at night, the lighting really takes over and it's really, really beautiful in here. So we turn and face back towards aft. You can see it says aft stairs and elevators right there. That's where we came through before. If we look to our left, we will see the Roy Disney entrance to 1923. And we look to our right, we see the Walt Disney entrance to 1923. You will want to follow your assigned entrance, which you can find in the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. It will tell you right in there which side of 1923 you're supposed to go into. And the 1923 is named for the year the Walt Disney Company was founded, and it is themed after old Hollywood and animation. So when you're inside the restaurant, you will see little statues, maquettes, paintings, concept art, all kinds of fun stuff in there, in a very chill atmosphere with smooth jazz playing. Now just to the starboard side of the Grand Hall, not really too much to see. This is actually where you will board and disembark the ship, like not in port of call, but actually where your cruise ends and begins. This is where you'll come on and get your grand entrance, your grand welcome to the ship, and then also where you'll leave once your cruise is over. Other than that, they'll use this for photo opportunities throughout the cruise, so nothing really to see over there. We're going to turn and head over here to the port side behind T'Challa. In addition to comfortable seating and porthole views, you will find the entrance to the Oceaneer Club. So here's the actual little desk where they can check in and head down the slide that we saw earlier when it is open. Or of course, as I mentioned, you can just take the stairs that are right there. Now as we continue forward, we're actually going to make a little bit of a loop here. So we'll just start on the port side since we're already over here. You can see that there's this bar section here on the outside. This is part technically of DeVille's, which we're going to see in just a second. I wanted to point out though that they do have charging stations at the bar seats, which is pretty nice. And this is a really easy area to access and get a drink right off the Grand Hall if you're doing something there. But next up we will find the entrance to DeVille's, the actual entrance. You see the piano keys there. Of course, this is themed after Cruella DeVille and 101 Dalmatians. This is the piano bar on board. We saw Nightingales on the Disney Wish, and we saw the Aristocats Lounge on the Disney Treasure. And here inside DeVille's, of course, black, red, white, and Dalmatian spots. Lots of seating. Bar over in the corner that continues back out into the Grand Hall like we saw earlier. And the piano right in the middle. It is a piano bar after all. Roger's songs! As we make our way forward, we'll find the entrance to the Sanctum, which is quite busy right now. This, of course, themed after Doctor Strange in the MCU. On the Disney Wish, this was the Bayou, themed after Princess and the Frog. And on Disney Treasure, it was themed after Jungle Cruise. But here's the Sanctum. I like how the curtains match Doctor Strange cloak and colors there. You get the dark woods throughout. Just across from the Sanctum, we have a favorite from the Treasure returning. We have the Haunted Mansion Parlor. If I was going to recommend you visit one space on board, it would be this. It is theming to the max. This is Imagineering at its best, of course themed after the classic Disney theme parks attraction of Haunted Mansion. Has all kinds of super special effects in there. They have delicious drinks, some non-alcoholic. It is an amazing time. You have to really come and check it out, see it in person to really get the full effect. And now we'll begin seeing all of our shops, beginning with Treasures Untold. And as we look in, we can see that they are going to be selling a lot of bags, some clothes, hats, shirts, even have some ears back there, and then some jewelry and higher end items in the middle there. Now just past Treasures Untold, we will find our first entrance to the Walt Disney Theater. Again, this is the main level entrance here on deck 3. You can access it via the port or starboard side. And also important starboard side, you will have Preludes, which is the concession stand where you can purchase popcorn, soft drinks, souvenir popcorn buckets, things like that. And then they will have the itinerary here on the digital screen. So as you can see, Frozen is what's playing tonight. The new debut show here on the Disney Destiny, though, is Hercules. And now we've reached our forward elevator lobby. So we're going to continue over here to the starboard side, and then we will wrap back around our little loop. So first things first, we find Preludes on this side, and then of course this starboard side entrance to the Walt Disney Theater. And as you can see inside the theater, it is multi-level. It does have balcony seating and really great views from all around, really great effects in here being done with these different shows. Now we turn around and head back aft towards the Grand Hall atrium, and we find more shopping, starting with Three Wishes. Love the entrance signage there. And this is going to be selling jewelry. So you see a bunch of watches, bracelets, necklaces, rings, and bags inside. And then the shop space continues with Once Upon a Time, which is just selling more of the same. It's actually the same exact shop space, wide open right through there. So just more jewelry, bags, accessories. But it is right across from the beautiful mosaic tile work here on the floor. Next up, we find Royal Regalia, and guess what? More jewelry. This does seem to be a little higher end, a little finer stuff in here compared to the others, though. And finally, we see Grand Hall Collection, which, yet again, more jewelry. This shop looks like it is focusing specifically on watches in this section, but beyond that, I do see more necklaces and bracelets and things of that nature. And once we pass the other entrance/exit to that, we are back in the Grand Hall. So we have completed our loop. And now that we have completed our loop, we have also finished with deck number 3. Let's continue to 4. All right, quite a few things to see here on deck 4. We'll start at the forward elevator lobbies. We're going to turn here. You can go starboard or port side, and you'll find the upper deck entrance to the Walt Disney Theater. As I mentioned, you can access it from either deck. So deck 3 is the main one. You can also do deck 4 or the accessible entrance on deck 2. And as we turn and head aft here on the starboard side, we'll find the entrance to the Neverland Cinema. So there's actually 2 cinemas on board. Older Disney ships would just combine it into the one Buena Vista Theater, but here on the Triton class, starting with the Wish, then the Treasure, and now the Destiny, it is split into 2. So on this side, we have the Neverland Cinema, themed after Peter Pan, of course. And if we cut back across over to the port side, we'll find the entrance to Wonderland Cinema, of course themed after Alice in Wonderland. And so both theaters will be showing, of course, movies throughout your cruise, but even first run movies. Ooh, look, a little special Cheshire cat there effect. Really cool. Even first run movies, things that are still in standard theaters across the country, you will be able to view on your Disney cruise ship, which is really awesome. Now, in between the 2 theater areas, we can find this small concession area, just like we saw at Preludes. This is Saga Snacks, and this gives you a good idea of what Prelude sells since they were closed earlier. You can see the different souvenir popcorn buckets, even some bags, popcorn, gummy snacks, candy, sodas. Now, of course, sodas are included with your Disney Cruise Line cruise fare if you get them in a restaurant or up on the pool deck. But if you buy them, they're in a can, something like that, that comes at additional cost. If you get them from a concession, I should say. Not if you buy them. Obviously, if you buy them, they come at additional cost. And the reason that is called Saga Snacks is because it is right off of Saga. Now, this is what you saw as Sarabi on the Disney Treasure and the Luna Lounge on the Disney Wish. But this time themed after Black Panther and Wakanda. So we're going to see those same kind of artistic choices and influences that we saw in the Grand Hall reflected here in Saga as well. So this is a mixed-use space. They might have karaoke, they might have trivia, bingo, different things like that will take place here in Saga. And as you can see, it is multi-level. So here on deck 4, but then also up on deck 5 as well. And you can even access the concession/bar from the backside of Saga right there, which is that Saga Snacks that we saw just a second ago. As we continue forward, before we get to our middle deck of the Grand Hall, I wanted to point out that you can actually open up these doors here on deck 4 and head outside. So this is an open air promenade deck area. They have lounge chairs, they have shuffleboard out here. You can see the shuffleboard court right there. Of course, this is where the lifeboats are also stored. But again, this is open air, so come out, get a nice breeze when you're sailing, get to see the ocean moving by if you're in port, like here at Castaway Cay. Get to see all of that beauty as well. Now this will continue forward, and you can actually take this all the way up and around to the front. There's no helipad at the front, but you can actually get out to the very front bow of the ship, which is pretty cool. And now back inside, we will enter into the mid-level deck of the Grand Hall. So deck 3, deck 4, deck 5 is going to be our Grand Hall, all open air, so you can see everything that's going on. Now the first thing we'll find here over on the starboard side, this is the Disney Vacation Club desk. Now they actually have a big office and specialized area that I'll show you in just a minute, but they do have this kind of remote station desk here where you can learn about Disney Vacation Club, even sign up for it, get any information you need. You can get that right there. Highly recommend it. We are Disney Vacation Club members, and our only regret is that we didn't do it sooner. Beyond that, we will find the entrance to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is an additional cost experience where you can have your little ones dressed up as a pirate or a princess. They do makeup, they do hair, they do costumes, all kinds of fun stuff. This is a very popular venue, so reservations highly, highly recommended well in advance. Before we head all the way aft, we're just going to continue our little loop around the Grand Hall here. Of course, again, the views all throughout. We'll see our tile mosaic of Black Panther there. And then this leads us to the guest services desk. It's open 24 hours a day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all relating to your cruise, come by to guest services and speak to them. They will assist you with that. Now, continuing just past guest services, it's really, really hard to even differentiate except for that sign right there, is Port Adventures. That's what Disney Cruise Line calls their shore outdoor excursions. So if you're looking to sign up for that, we do obviously recommend you purchase those in advance of your cruise. But if you haven't yet, or if you have any questions about your port adventures, you can stop by the desk here and they can assist you with that. All right, let's stop back in our map here just to kind of get reoriented. So we saw the upper entrance to the Walt Disney Theater. We saw the 2 cinemas, Saga Snacks leading into Saga. And now we've done this kind of upper deck loop here. Disney Vacation Club, guest services, and port adventures. So that's all done. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, we saw that right there. So now we're gonna head aft and do this little loop section. All right, continuing aft, the first thing we'll find here is Cafe Megara. As I mentioned, the main show on board the Disney Destiny is Hercules. So this is just kind of continuing that theme. You'll see the Greek artwork and influence throughout. The lightning bolts representing Zeus, the tile mosaics, and even the chair backs themselves feature Meg and the Muses. A really cool spot to get a coffee or a specialty drink. Stop in, have a little rest, take it easy. Now we'll begin our second little loop that I mentioned, starting over here on the port side with the untangled salon. You don't want to be tangled when you're going to the salon, you want to be untangled. So they do nail treatments here, I believe, manicures, pedicures, and of course hair as well. And look, Pascal hiding right there next to the flower. Bring your hair to life, make it beautiful and glow. Rapunzel says it way better than I do. But you can get all of those treatments done here at the Untangled Salon, which is more characterized and more catered towards the feminine side of things. But if we pass through the aft elevator bay to continue our little loop here over on the starboard side, we'll find the masculine side of things with Hook's Barbery. So this is a barber shop, but just so much more than a barbershop. Of course, it's themed after Captain Hook and Peter Pan and Neverland and all that stuff. But even more than a barbershop, sometimes they have specialty drinks in here too. See, you can even do a reserve whiskey bourbon tasting inside of Hook's Barbery. All the little fun details inside there. It's much smaller than the Untangled Salon, but it is here nonetheless. And then if we continued on forward, you could see that would get us back to Cafe Megara. So we're done with this little loop. We're gonna turn back around. That's where we'll find the aft elevators and stairs. And either side, if you go port side, starboard side, it does not matter. You can loop around here, or you could also cut through the middle, but we're gonna loop around and find the entrance to our second dining restaurant, Worlds of Marvel. Now, just based on the name alone, you should be able to tell what this is all about. But this one on the Disney Destiny is a little bit different. We were kind of focused on Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm and stuff in the first 2 installments, but now it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're taking center stage. So as we come on around, they continued with this cool little statuesque artwork that we saw on the other ships. And then we wrap all the way back where we will find the entrance to the restaurant. So this is kind of dinner and a virtual show. Most of it's going to take place on the screens you sit next to, very much like Animator's Palette on the Dream and Fantasy with Crush. It's a very similar kind of experience here at Worlds of Marvel. And just in case you're unfamiliar with how Disney Cruise Line dining works, they invented what they call rotational dining. So we've seen 2 of the 3 restaurants that we're gonna see. These are the main dining restaurants included with your cruise fare, and you will actually rotate between them throughout your cruise, but your wait staff will travel with you, so they'll get to know you, they'll get to know your preferences, and you'll get to experience all those different themes and cuisines throughout your voyage. As we see here on our map, Worlds of Marvel is the last thing to see on Deck 4, so we are ready to continue to Deck 5. And Deck 5 is massive. There is a ton of stuff to see here on this deck. So we're beginning in the aft lobby, elevator lobby. We're gonna kick over here to the port side. This is where we will find the entrance to our final rotational dining venue, which is Pride Lands, Feast of the Lion King. And again, I think the name makes it pretty obvious, and now you'll see the decor, very reminiscent of Animal Kingdom Lodge over at Walt Disney World Resort. But this is going to be the dinner and a show restaurant. So on the Disney Wish, we had Arendelle featuring the Frozen characters. On the Disney Treasure, we had Plaza de Coco featuring the Coco characters and them singing and dancing and all that good stuff. Well, here you are going to get the tale of the Lion King. Beautiful, beautiful performances, of course, incredibly talented singers and dancers, a lot of percussion, which I love, and I just love this entrance hall. It was beautiful at Arendelle, it was great at Plaza de Coco, and they've continued it here with Festival of the Lion King. What I really like is inside, Festival of the Lion King. I keep making that mistake of calling it Festival of the Lion King. It is not. That's a show at the theme parks. Pride Lands. What I really like, though, is what they've done on the inside of the restaurant with the lighting and the theming. It starts out like it's nighttime on the savannah. The sun rises as they begin singing. You get the different effects. It's really, really a beautiful venue. And they improved just like they did with Coco from Arendelle, where they have taken the bus stations and the serving stations out of the center of the dining room, so those are not blocking anyone's view. And back here at the aft elevator lobby, let's go ahead and kick over to the starboard side before we continue our loop forward. And here we will find the entrance to Edge. So Edge is our Tweens Club on board. We're going to see the Teens Club a little bit later. First, we'll start here in Edge. So tucked up in the corner by the portholes, we'll find a cool lounge area with a nice big screen. And then in the main area, we'll find our gigantic screen there across from our little food and soda bar. And then the interactive area will have tables for arts and crafts, games. We have TV with video games here. There's a Nintendo Switch and PlayStation both available. And those continue throughout, in addition to the foosball table there in the middle. All right, just outside of Edge, we can continue forward. We're going to do another little loop here. That's going to be a common theme. Starting with these little kiosks, you can tap your key to the World Card or your Disney Magic Band Plus, Disney Band Plus, whatever they call them now. And this is where you can actually view some photos that were taken throughout your cruise adventure by the professional photography staff on board. You can view those there, and you can purchase them because this is Shutters, which is the photo gallery. You can also see they have an attached portrait studio, so if you're looking to get some finer, more private photos done, you can do that there. They also have all this little cool artwork and memorabilia set up, and also some picture frames and different things that you can purchase as well. So if you're looking to get your photos on board, this is where you want to come to Shutters, use the kiosk, or talk to a staff representative if you need any assistance with that. But turning back to the inside from that, we will find Cafe Merida, themed after Brave. You can see her over there on the tapestry. A lot darker woods here with the green color. I like it a lot. Plus this little delicious looking plate of pastries there. So we had Cafe Megara below, now we have Cafe Merida above. And then over on the port side, we will find Mickey's Mainsail. Now the entrance is typically over in the Grand Hall, but I'll kind of show it here. This is what I would call the main gift shop on board. This is going to have all of your Disney Destiny specific items, more of your Disney centric merchandise, you know, with all your characters, shirts, hat, mugs. I mean, they got everything under the sun in here. And this is also the largest gift shop on board. As you can see, there's the entrance to Pride Lands. It continues all the way back to here and flows all the way out towards the Grand Hall. It is massive. And now that we've completed that little loop, we're ready to head forward. First, a little quick pit stop at the Disney Vacation Club office. We showed you the little desk down below. I mentioned they had a big office space, and this is where it is, here next to Cafe Merida. And you can see they'll have little models of the latest Disney Vacation Club digs, or even the whole resort itself. Looks like that's Riviera. You can come in, get some information. They can tell you all about that. They even have this cool little interactive feature that you can use as well. And now we're back in the Grand Hall for our final deck number 5. So over on the port side, it's just Mickey's Mainsail. That big gift shop that I mentioned continues all the way over there. So nothing to really see. Over here on the starboard side, there's not too much to see either. There's actually just a lot of comfortable seating up here, and this little desk I've seen them using for various things that are going on, little special events or whatnot. So yeah, just a lot of comfortable seating up here. Great views of the Grand Hall, especially of the balcony where sometimes characters will come out and wave and say hello. Oh, actually I lied. I said there was nothing over here on this side past Mickey's Mainsail, but there is. You can actually view some of the artwork featured on board, but in addition to that, you can even purchase said artwork from the Art of Disney on-demand kiosks. So you just use these interactive touchscreen kiosks, and you can purchase the artwork and have it shipped to your home or whatever address you prefer. And as we continue forward here on the starboard side, I wanted to point out the Disney Studio. Now this is kind of like a photo studio like we saw back at Shutters. What they've been doing on the Disney Destiny though is actually having this set up as Dr. Facilier's parlor. The villain, of course, from The Princess and the Frog, and you can actually come in and have kind of like a one-on-one meet and greet and photo session there. They don't allow any photos or videos inside except what they might take themselves with the staff, so really kind of just to come in and have an experience. But if you see it listed, that is where it is. And moving right along, you can see that the carpets and the adornments have changed because we are back at Saga, the upper deck of Saga. Mentioned earlier that it was 2 levels, so if we come through the door here, you can see the upper deck section with more seating, even some bar rail seating. And what I like is that they put the TVs up here so that you can actually see what's going on down below if you're seated back away from the stage. So the Triton Lounge is a mixed-use space. You can see they're going to have seating and tables all throughout, and then the main stage area there in the center. So they'll use all this space for all kinds of different things: karaoke, activity, arts and crafts, and even specialty dining sign-ups. If you need to try to get a Palo or Enchanté reservation on your day of boarding, you can come in here to do that. As we continue wrapping around, we will find the main entrance to Triton Lounge. So here we are at kind of the central point of Saga that leads us into the forward elevator lobby. Before we go there though, just going to continue wrapping around back over here towards the port side, where we will find Cask and Cannon. Now this is a Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge and bar. This is also kind of like your sports bar area. This is where they will typically be showing live sports if that's something you're looking to find. So you can see the dark woods and the nautical theming throughout. The big screen showing the different games that are currently on. Theming is even in the carpeting and up on the ceiling as well. In addition to being a bar, they also have a food menu with different pub bites available for purchase as well. So here at the Deck 5 forward elevators, we'll actually find the additional entrance to the Triton Lounge. Over here on the starboard side, we will find the entrance to Senses Fitness. Alright, so we come in here with a little landing area with the video board showing the hours of operation. And then we head into the main workout area. As with most cruise ship gyms, you'll see the porthole windows over to the side. Over on this side, we have the fresh towels. And then here we have those treadmills. Again, looking out over the porthole windows, looking out to sea. You have your ellipticals on the inside, some resistance machines. You can have some free weights and dumbbells stacked up over in the corner. So anything you're looking to do, cycling, got some lifting here. Different options available for you to get your workout in any way that you see fit. And then they have another section of towels here as you get ready to enter the fitness studios. Oh, they can have classes in here, group-led instruction, or you can use this area to do your own. And cutting back over to the port side, the entrance to Senses Spa. So turning away from our entrance area, we head down the hallway here. This will take us to the different treatment rooms that they have available.
What do you think?
I'm thinking maybe both.
Maybe both.
Turning the corner here, we see the entrance to the men's changing room, and they will of course have one for women as well. And then we see this little waiting area, nice comfy chairs, some fruit, water, things like that. You can sit there and wait until they have your treatment area ready. Enter the kind of the locker room and shower area. You see they have the towels stacked up, lockers over there in the back. And then as we turn here, we see an entrance to a steam sauna. You can head right inside of that. And then here we have those showers. You need to rinse off before or after your workout or your treatment or whatever you got going on. You can do that here. And then a vanity area opposite of that. And then here's a better look at the locker area with benches and couches and water fountains, as well as a bottle refill station. Dispose of your dirty towels, get fresh towels, store all your belongings, typical stuff you would think of. Now just past the changing locker room area, we'll find this lovely little floral arrangement, I guess you could call it. And you can see on the signs here, you can go kind of either way here to get around to the rainforest treatment rooms and the rainforest spa areas. We'll head down the hallway here. And then when we enter this area, which also has kind of the grass and plants and things like that, is the rainforest area. And I think they do it the best here on the Triton class ships. We've seen it on the Wish, the Treasure, here on the Destiny as well. Got the refreshment area right as you come in. And then as we continue on back, we got some windows letting in some natural light. The hanging couches, like little hanging beds here above the water. You can dip your feet in. Got a nice shower, rainfall head there. And then the heated tile loungers as well, spread throughout the area. Look at another shower area right next to more of those tile loungers. And then right here in between them, we will find the entrance to the hammam room. Basically a nice fragrant steam room there. And the loungers just circle around, as I mentioned, and the windows too, letting in that natural light. Coming around here on the back side, see the door to head out right here. And then next to that we find the entrance to the frigidarium, one of my favorites. Nice and cold in here. I love this room. Turning back around, see another shower area here. And then the entrance to the laconium, which is like the dry sauna. And then up the little ramp past the loungers where I mentioned earlier, you can head outside because there is an exterior area. And as we come out, we see the showers here as well. So plenty of shower options. We have some hot tubs here covered, which is nice. A couple of those you can choose from. And then we're going to have the comfy day beds that are suspended, spread throughout the area as well. Little tables to put your things on, or just regular day beds and couches if you want to lounge on those. Some covered, some not. Get some sunshine, get some shade, whatever you're looking for. And now back inside, we'll turn, we see it says treatment rooms this way, so if you do have a scheduled or paid for treatment, the rooms those will be performed in will be right down here. See the entrances to all the different rooms here. They have them labeled and numbered, and of course they will escort you back if you do have a treatment planned or booked. They will escort you to the room, get you all set up. Here they have some open, so you can kind of get an idea of what one might look like. Depending on your treatment, it'll be different, of course. And now back out kind of at the main area. We flip around here and see this heads to the rejuvenation spa. And we have the different suites for treatment areas in here as well. And here's a look at a rejuvenation spa room. Again, treatment area. And again, this will be set up differently depending on what treatment you have. They'll escort you, they'll show you, get you set up, so you don't have to worry about all that, but this is an idea of what one might look like. And this is what a different idea of what one might look like, another rejuvenation spa room. So to recap, since this was a big deck, we have Pride Lands restaurant all the way in the back, Edge for the tween club, then we have the big gift shop, Cafe Merida, DVC, the Grand Hall top level, Saga upper level, Triton Lounge, Cask and Cannon, which is Pirates of the Caribbean theme bar, Senses Fitness, Senses Spa, and that goes all the way forward. So now we have completed deck 5. Let's go to 6. And deck 6 is actually just staterooms. Nothing to see here. Let's go to 7. Deck number 7, also just staterooms. Going to 8. Deck number 8, mostly just staterooms. One little thing, I'll be nice and show you. If you turn off the forward elevator lobby here, you will find the entrance to Fairy Tale Fresh Laundry. I do like to show this because 1, it's really nice, and 2, it's not the most common thing to find a do-it-yourself laundry section on a cruise ship, but of course they have washers, dryers, and you can purchase all the products you need as well. These do come at an additional cost, which I do not see listed, so I don't know how much it is, but just know that you can do that here at Fairy Tale Fresh Laundry. So now deck number 8 is just staterooms. Go to 9. Deck number 9, just staterooms again. Let's go to 10. My luck continueth to run over. Deck number 10, just staterooms. Head to 11. Deck number 11, just staterooms. In the forward part. The forward part's just staterooms, but now we're gonna head outside. This is gonna be our main pool deck. So as you can see, just staterooms there forward. Now we're gonna head outside. And as we exit the forward elevator lobby, we'll find the entrance to Mickey's Festival of Foods. Oh, excuse me, Mickey and Friends Festival of Foods. We don't wanna forget about the Friends, of course. So this is an all-included, included with your cruise fare, no additional cost, eatery, casual eats, and it's broken up into different stations. So right when you come out, you see Mickey's Smokestack Barbecue, Obvious from the name, but they're gonna have things like sweet potato fries, brisket, roast chicken, ribs, mac and cheese, coleslaw, cornbread, all good eats. We wrap around over on the starboard side. Our next booth is Goofy's Grill. This is where you can find hamburgers, hot dogs, plant-based burgers and dogs, and even chicken tenders and fries. And beyond that, we will find Minnie's Delights. This is going to be your sweet eatery featuring the soft serve ice cream, available in different flavors, as well as some fresh fruit. And although it's not technically part of the Festival of Foods, it's right here, so I'll show it. The Lookout, which is a bar. Kicking back to the port side, just past the barbecue stand, we will find Daisy's Pizza Pies, of course serving up slices, usually pepperoni, cheese, and might have a vegetable option or a specialty of the day. Different kind of things available here. And then our last stand is Donald's Cantina, where you can build your own burritos, tacos, and bowls. They have all the toppings and a selection of salsas and hot sauces as well. Now, both on the starboard and port side, you will find a bevy of tables and chairs for you to dine at with the floor-to-ceiling windows so you can see out to the sea or to the ports that you are docked at. And just beyond the food stations on both, again, starboard and port side, you will find these self-serve beverage stations. So like I mentioned, soda is included with your cruise fare. When you get it up here on the pool deck, you can just come and help yourself anytime you would like. So you can do that. You can also get hot chocolate, coffee, and tea here as well. So our tables and chairs are going to continue all the way down the deck. We'll see some bar areas located out in the middle. They usually staff those when it's a busier pool deck day. We're in port right now, so not the case. And then we'll find our main pool deck area. So when we turn around here, first thing we're going to see is Funnel Vision, the big large screen where they'll show movies like they're showing right now. And then sometimes, if they're having a party out on deck, like the pirate party or the sailaway party, they'll use that to demonstrate what's going on up there as well. And you can see they actually have a pool just below that, and then the tiered pool section like we saw on the Wish and Treasure, a pool here, then on the sides of each level, and it continues on up. Sun loungers throughout the entire deck area, and of course, if there is a party of some sort going on or an event, they can cover all these pools up, get these chairs out of here, and turn it into one big deck space. Now we will see the upper deck of the pool deck area in just a little bit, but right now we're going to continue heading aft, and we're going to go inside. And the first thing we want to show over here on the port side is Dory's Forget-Me-Nots, and this is another store where you can buy swim shirts, swim hats, sunscreen, things like that. But I also recommend just checking in here in general, because a lot of times they offer merchandise, specifically t-shirts or jerseys or spirit jerseys, that you won't see in the other gift shops. So I always recommend taking a look in here. And now we will pass through the aft elevator bay and stairwell, because we have something to see on the starboard side. Just as you come inside from the pool deck, you will find Edna a la mode suites. Yes, darling. So this is going to be the special ice cream shop and sweets shop on board. I remember it was themed after, I think, Inside Out or Zootopia on the other ships, maybe, if I'm remembering that correctly. So you can actually purchase for an additional cost special ice cream, special gelato, things like that. Now the soft serve we saw back at the Festival of Foods, that's included, but this is like specially upgraded ice cream, sherbet, gelato. You can get special cones or even a special little ice cream bucket cart there. Really cool. They have all kinds of flavors in here, toppings, and then they'll even have things like different pastries like macarons, cupcakes, all kinds of fun stuff, and it's usually themed after the different properties that are featured on board. Oh, you're fine. And they also have a section of bagged candy and popcorn as well, and of course the Incredibles theming all throughout, designing super suits, and of course, nut camps. Now once you come in on the starboard or port side, either way, if you head directly aft, you will find the entrance to Marceline Market. This is the buffet on board, and it is named after Walt Disney's childhood town that was also the inspiration for Main Street USA and the theme parks. So they have the hours of operation posted right there. Typically only open for breakfast and lunch. You will usually not see this available for dinner, which is kind of a shame. Of course, as you come in, you're going to have your hand washing station so you can wash up before you go to eat. And then you'll proceed on forward where you can find the various seating sections, starting with the bar section right here in the middle as you come in, and there's a limited amount of seating there. Now as we continue on forward, it's going to be the same on either side, port or starboard. You're going to find tables and chairs throughout the venue, right up against these floor-to-ceiling windows so you can get those beautiful views. And then the food service stations are going to be tucked on the inside. Now, for Marceline Market, a lot of the stations, the staff is actually going to serve you. It's not going to be self-serve, with the exception of a few little areas where you can just kind of grab and go with some items. Otherwise, they will serve you. You're also going to have beverage stations located throughout here. Now, you can serve yourself here. Of course, you're going to have your soda station, coffee, tea, and also juice as well. So it's just going to continue around. It's going to be pretty much a mirror image on either side, with the seating on the outside towards the windows and the food service stations on the inside. But who doesn't love a good outdoor section of a buffet? And you can find it here at Marceline Market, right on the aft of the ship, where you can get some incredible views, either if you're sailing or if you're in port. Either way, this is where you're going to want to be if the weather is suitable. And back on the inside, the seating just continues. The food continues here on the very back end, just inside the outdoor seating section. And then it just loops around. And as I mentioned, pretty much the same exact setup on the other side. So now we saw the Festival of Foods, the pool deck area, and now La Mode Suite, Stories Forget-Me-Nots, and then the buffet, the Marceline Market. So we have finished with deck 11, and we're ready to go to 12. All right, deck number 12, and just like we saw with deck 11, the forward part is just staterooms, specifically concierge lounge, which we don't have access to. So we won't be seeing that. But that's only going to apply if you're staying in a concierge level room. We're here at the aft lobby elevator, so what we're going to do is kind of have a little, it's not really a loop. We're going to see this section, we're going to see this section, and then we'll see the upper pool deck area. So why don't we turn around here and we'll enter the Rose. And of course the Rose is themed after Beauty and the Beast. This is going to be the entrance to our adults only specialty dining area. So we know about Palo from older cruise ships. They're going to continue that here. And beginning with the Rose, which is kind of just a bar and gathering space. Has beautiful views, the floor-to-ceiling windows, lounge chairs throughout, and the bar in the middle, of course, featuring several roses. And as you follow that along, you'll get to the actual restaurant area. So at the end of the Rose Bar, we have our check-in desk here, though there's not anyone there currently. We'll turn around and we'll find our entrance to Palo, which if you've sailed with Disney Cruise Line before, you know that Palo is the adults-only specialty dining restaurant. This does come at an additional cost. Like I mentioned, no kids here. It is for adults only. But starting with the Wish, then the Treasure, and now here on Destiny, it is Palo Steakhouse. So it's going to have a nice assortment of steaks that you can choose from, in addition to the standard Italian fare that you will find at Palo. It's a nice little waiting area as you enter the restaurant, right across from the wine selection. And then we'll enter the main seating area. Some nice comfy booths here and across. We're gonna have our floor-to-ceiling windows looking out. Beautiful view when you're sailing, especially at sunset time. So Palo Steakhouse is going to offer dinner every night of your cruise, and on certain days it may also offer a brunch. Both of those are very, very popular. The brunch is incredibly popular, so you will need to book that early as soon as your cruise is paid in full, and you can book those activities once you hit your date, which is determined by your status level with the Castaway Club loyalty program. You will want to book this ASAP. You can see it kind of just wraps around and it actually goes into Enchante over there, which we'll see in just a minute. Lovely little outdoor deck here as well. The floor-to-ceiling windows continuing throughout the restaurant. But as you can see, not very wide. This is kind of just a narrow chute, a pretty intimate experience as you would expect. Now over on this side, we will find the entrance to Enchante, where you can also dine adults only specialty dining, coming at an additional cost. You can do dinner. You can do, I think sometimes they might have a brunch, but they definitely have a dessert party a lot of times in here as well. I may be wrong on the brunch. I'll have to double check on that. I know they have dinner and dessert party because we've done the dessert party. And look, Lumiere beckons us once again, just like on the sister ships. So as we come in, we'll find our fancy entrance area, our wine cooler over to the side, this side as well. And then we're gonna have all of our tables set up throughout, of course, with a rose on each table and roses up in the metalwork. And it's just gonna continue all the way wrapping around here. You can see we have the floor to ceiling windows. They do have the shades drawn right now, but if it's sunset, turning into night, they'll open those up for a nice view. And it's a very kind of intimate, cozy setting in here. As you can see, it's not very big, it's not very expansive, it's not wide. So this is the end of it right here. You have this whole dining area Okay, so I did just confirm Enchante is available for the dinner, the dessert party, and sometimes brunch. Now we'll pass through the elevator area to the starboard side, and this is where we will find the entrance to Vibe. So just up the steps, we'll find the entrance to the Hero Zone, which we will get to in just a minute, but we're actually going to turn around and find the entrance to the Teens Club Vibe. So right when we come in, we'll see the foosball table there in the middle. Big couch hangout area with the big screen next to that. Nice floor-to-ceiling windows. Take a look outside, and lots of cool artwork throughout as well. We have board games, card games scattered throughout the area. Video games over here in the corner. Looks like Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, like we saw earlier in Edge. You can do some art and crafts up along the window as well. And then over here in this section, some more comfortable lounging seats. We got some TVs throughout. I'm sure they'll play different movies, or if they're doing games or different things like that. This is pretty cool with the fruit and soda bar here, fruit juice and soda bar. You got kind of like these little hangers for bags, and then there's also charge ports there, USB A and C available. More screens over here, and then here in the middle as well. And you might have just seen on the screen there, it said the Hideaway. So I've always kind of wondered, because on Wish and Treasure it was always hard to tell, like, what is the Hideaway? It's essentially just this section. It's kind of like a continuation of Vibe over into this area. This is considered the Hideaway. Now, if we continue heading back from Vibe, we will actually find this very cool illuminated area, which is the entrance to Hero Zone. Hero Zone is a multi-use area, which doesn't look like it's being used for much according to this board. Don't worry, there's a lot more activities to be had in here. So if you've ever sailed with Royal Caribbean on a Quantum class ship, this is very similar to the Seaplex, right? It's an indoor multi-use space. You see they got the basketball hoops there. They got the cornhole and bags set up. Gonna have some ping pong tables over here in this little nook. But on certain days, they will actually take all of this out and they will blow up a huge inflatable obstacle course themed after The Incredibles. It's a ton of fun. All of this included with your cruise fare. There is no additional cost, and there's actually even a little upper deck level. Let's go check that out. And up here on the top level, great views down below, several air hockey tables, as well as some foosball tables. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's any cost for these. I think you can just come and play air hockey without even paying for it, which is super cool. Way to go, Disney. And I should point out, while the upper level is usually accessed by this stairwell, there is an accessible entrance and exit as well. All right, so just to get reoriented, our aft elevator lobby, we came over here through the rows, saw Palo Steakhouse and Enchante. Again, adults only, specialty dining, coming at an additional cost there. Over on this side, Vibe for the teens, which connects to the Hideaway, and then the Hero Zone we just saw. So now we're gonna head outside and see the upper level of the pool deck. So right when we come out, we're looking directly at funnel vision that we talked about before. If we turn to our left, we'll find the stairwell that is the entrance for the Aqua Mouse. So of course we saw the Aqueduct water coaster on the Dream and Fantasy, but here we have Aqua Mouse just like we saw on the Wish and Treasure. Today they're featuring Scuba Scramble, which is kind of the old school one, but here for the Disney Destiny, there's actually a new cartoon short featured in the ride is based on heroes and villains. And here's your requirements. You must be 42 inches tall to ride or 48 inches tall to ride by yourself. Here's a quick look at the rules and expectations. If you're under 7, you must be accompanied by someone 14 or older. And they do have storage cubbies right here next to boarding, provided for you to store your items while you ride. And look, the posters kind of give an idea of the little special short I was talking about. You can see the Chernobog there. So as I mentioned, of course, Aqueduct was a water coaster. Aqua Mouse is as well, but they've added a show element. So as you go through this enclosed white tube section, you're actually going to see video boards featuring these different little Mickey shorts, different cartoons that they've created for this ride specifically, and it will also feature different water effects and lighting effects and things like that. And then once you come out the forward funnel, you get back out to open air, it kind of turns just back into a standard water coaster ride. Now just across the stairwell for Aqua Mouse, we'll find another stairwell. You see it says this area is reserved for guests 18 and older because this is the Quiet Cove pool deck area. And this area continues on over to the Aqua Mouse boarding area where you're gonna find sun loungers, day beds, comfy chairs, comfy seating with beautiful views, and even get some great views of the Aqua Mouse as these slides come through the clear tube section. Just like that. Now as we arrive at the rear funnel, you'll see the sign here that says Cove Cafe and Bar, pointing all the way aft. So let's wrap around here on the starboard side. And that's actually where we'll also find a hot tub. And the lounge chairs and views continue as we head back. And all the way towards the back, we even have some comfy rocking chairs, which is super nice. And then we'll wrap around to the Quiet Cove pool area. We have the bench pool and the panorama pool. So the bench pool is just going to be a little bench with the water cascading over it, and a little small shallow waiting area. And then you're going to have the panorama pool, which is infinity style, up against the glass on the back end of the ship. So again, really great views to be had here. Sun loungers continue all throughout the area as well. And then in the middle, we have the Cove Bar here, where you can order some drinks. And sometimes they'll even show things on these TVs, maybe like live sports. Now we see our sign tells us to continue here for the Cove Cafe, so we'll just wrap around over here on the port side until we get to these glass circular doors when we come in. So Cove Cafe is a coffee bar, specialty bar, where you can get drinks. Of course, this is continuing in the adults only area. This one is themed after Moana, as you can see via the artwork and the little statues. Just a cozy, quiet, comfortable seating spot. Now before we head back out, I need to point out that just off the Cove Bar area here, you'll see the chairlift and then the stairs that go up. And this leads to an additional seating area. Some rocking chairs and some tall high back chairs. And even more great views. But then over here on the port side, this is actually a designated smoking area. So you can come up here, they have the ashtray set out, and you can smoke if you're looking for a place to do that. All right, let's check back in our map. Technically, we're now up on deck 13, so we're kind of cheating, but this is really how you would access most of the stuff, the way I just shown you. So to get to the Aquamouse and the Quiet Cove area, which is adults only, and it wraps back around. And then the forward part of deck 13 is just more concierge rooms and the concierge Sunday. So really not anything to see there. We're gonna head back downstairs now and continue on deck 12. And while we're up here, just to kind of give you the bird's eye view of those tiered pools that I mentioned. So you have the circular one on either side, then you kind of have a weird shaped one on either side, and then kind of like an oval one there in the middle. And up on the deck, the sun loungers will continue forward from starboard and port sides. We're gonna head port right now. Actually, no, we're not, because they currently have it closed off because they're putting chairs out. Let's go starboard. I always wanted to. All right, as we arrive at the forward section of the upper pool deck, this is actually Wheezy's Freezy's. They just kind of have it closed off right now. I don't know if you can see through there. There he is, there's Wheezy. So this is a place, a bar basically, where you can come and get drinks, but they also have like specialty drinks, kind of smoothie stuff, and usually have Dole Whips here as well, all for an additional cost. Now if we turn around from that, we will find our Toy Story themed splash area, just like we saw on the Disney Wish and the Disney Treasure. Toy Story Splash Zone. You usually have water jets going in here, little bubblers. It's soft, it's cozy, it's safe for kids to play in. And this is for children 4 years of age and under. There's the rules on that. And it just kind of continues on around over to this side. They even have some little tiny slides coming out of the Pizza Planet rocket there. And across from that, we'll find Trixie Falls, just a little nice pool area, a little bench and the waterfall curtain coming down. And across from that, we'll find the entrance to Slidosaurus Rex. Here's a look at the rules for that. Must be 38 inches to ride. It is a standard body slide, so you just follow Rex's footprints to go through here, and then you'll see the cubby right there where you can store your items while you're riding. So you'll head inside the funnel, up the stairs, and that's where you'll pick up the slide. It'll do a couple of loops around and then splash down here at the bottom. And I'd also like to point out that across from Toy Story Splash Zone, they do have the chairs set up in a tiered fashion up the several decks, so lots of seating abounds throughout this area. And now that we're at the forward elevator lobby, we can check back in with our map. Again, we saw all the stuff on the back side and the upper level of the pool deck, including Wheezy's, Freezy's, Toy Story Splash Zone, and Slidosaurus Rex. And here the forward part is just the concierge staterooms and the entrance to the concierge lounge. Since we're here, we'll look at the entrance to the lounge, but again, we will not be able to access it. So we see our little screen there displaying the hours of operation, and if you're staying in a concierge level stateroom or suite, you can just tap your key to the world or your band right there, and that will grant you entrance into the concierge lounge, which on this ship is themed after Avengers. And with that, we have completed deck 12. Let's head up to 13. And now that we're up on deck 13, there's actually not really anything to see here because we already showed you All of this stuff on the back side of deck 13, the middle of deck 13 doesn't exist, and the forward of deck 13 is just more concierge staterooms and the concierge sun deck. So we are done with 13. Let's head to our last deck, deck number 14. All right, deck number 14, our final deck, and not a lot to see here. As you can see, the aft section, not really anything there. The middle section is just the funnel suite. And we're gonna go out on the forward section. It's gonna be all outdoors here. So as we step outside, we are exited here on the port side. We can turn and head back towards aft. If we look down, we see that tiered seating I mentioned earlier, as well as the Toy Story Splash Zone and the Slidosaurus Rex. But if we look across, we'll see additional seating here, as well as the bar in the middle. I believe this is the Currents bar. Don't see the signage. But I also want to point out that this seating section, you can see they have the ashtrays out. This is an additional smoking section, just like we saw in the back earlier. Now we'll continue forward past these sun loungers all the way to the front of the ship. And that's where we'll find the Chippendales pool, freshwater shower, just like at all the pool stations. You have this cool little bench seat with the cascading waterfall behind you, and then the deeper pool section out in front. Lounge chairs make a nice little semicircle facing back in, featuring some shade from the canopy above. Now, one last thing I want to point out here is that if you look up there, you will see the horns for the Disney Destiny. If those go off when you are here, it is incredibly loud, like beyond ridiculous loud. So just be prepared for that if you're going to be up in this area at the Chippendales pool. I think it's appropriate, right? Chippendale a little mischievous, so I don't want to sound the horn at you. One final thing I will leave you with, if you're at the forward elevators, they're going to feature the villains in the artwork. If you're in the aft elevators, it'll feature the heroes. Aft elevators feature the voice of Mickey. The forward elevators feature the voice of Minnie.
Deck 3, doors opening.
Well, there you have it, friends. That is our tour of the brand new Disney Destiny, the newest ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. We are absolutely loving it so far. We think you will as well. So be sure to check out, again, our full Disney Destiny playlist, where this ship tour, our full room tour, and all of our daily videos can be found. And of course, we are travel agents. Our services are completely complimentary. We never charge any fees or costs whatsoever. We partner directly with Disney Cruise Line as authorized Disney vacation sellers, and we would love to help get you on board. So if you want to come on board the Disney Destiny or any other Disney Cruise Line ship, we can help make that happen. So please feel free to reach out via that travel agent information. You can find it in the description of this video. Even if you've recently booked your Disney cruise within the past 30 days, if you're not paid in full, you can transfer to our agency. That's also free of charge, and then we'll be able to assist you the rest of the way. So either way, we hope we will hear from you soon. Once again, thank you for joining me for today's video. We're signing off. We'll see you next time. Happy travels!